Good morning, everybody. If you're watching from the UK, good morning. If you're watching from Australia, good evening. Today and this evening, we've got Clem joining us and actually part of the Australia OSC joining us from Sydney. We've also got James Spencer from the Trust, and joining us, I can see coming through, is Rob Angus, our CEO. So what I'll do is I'll bring the guys on stream. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning. Steve, would you like to introduce yourself, and then we'll bring James and Rob on?
Yeah. Well, I'm the one with the beer. I'm Steve Hall, and I sort of organised this. And welcome to everyone. And as we say in Australia today.
And do the guys say hi to?
And very quickly, just go on. Just say hand up, say a name. That's it.
Yeah, Kevin. Good to meet you.
Yeah, hey guy.
Richard. Graham.
David. Ian.
Mark.
Lee. Okay, I won't remember all those names, but welcome everybody. And Steve, what time is it over there?
It's 10:30 at night.
Oh wow! So, what will you actually all be watching the game afterwards?
Yeah, pretty much. A couple more coming too.
Oh wow! Okay. Right, I'm going to bring James on. How you doing, James?
Hi, Pete. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, and you're going to the game today, right?
I am, yeah. So literally after this, dashing off down to Newport. So,
okay,
yeah.
So we can't go into extra time or anything.
Hopefully not. No, otherwise it'll be a bit more of a dash.
Steve, Clem is joining us today. Do you know what time he's joining us?
Yeah, Clem's at the Western Sydney Wanderers versus Sydney FC game in Parramatta. I got a text from him about 45 minutes ago saying he'd be here about 9:45. So in your time, quarter to 12 your time.
Okay, great. And it was 0-0, wasn't it? I saw that result.
Yeah.
Is that a good result for him? I'm not sure.
Well, it's not a lot of goals.
Right. No. Okay, let's see if we can get Rob. I can see that he's on stream, but I can't actually see his face, so I'm not sure if he's struggling to get on at the moment. Looks like he's struggling. So, you're here, Rob?
I'm here, Pete, but I'm just I'm here, but I'm just I'm driving, so to save people,
right.
Seeing hearts of Swindon as I go to meet up some of the team before we drive down to Newport.
Okay, good enough. James and I were wondering how you were actually going to do this, whether you were holding up the team coach or something.
Well, I think the team are on their way. I'm just meeting up with the club secretary and general manager, and we'll be leaving at 12.
Okay, great. Okay, so Steve, would you like to kick it off?
I can fire away and answer questions. It's not a problem.
Great. Okay. Steve, do you want to kick it off then, and I'll step out and let you guys talk to James and Rob a bit.
Yeah, well, that'd be great. I'm glad to say thanks a lot, Rob and James, for making the time. I much appreciate it down under here. Look, Rob.
No worries, Steve. Thank you very much for your support.
My pleasure. Rob, you were involved in the trust before you became CEO, and you've obviously been a fan a long time. Can you just give us an idea of the difference in the feeling of the team, or of the club, I should say, between now and a year back?
Yeah, I think it's a massive difference. Yeah, I heard that, mate. I think. I hope you can hear me now. It's a massive difference, I think, and I'm sure James, who I was working on the trust with before, can comment on as well. But look, I think hopefully the openness and the engagement and transparency that Clem's ownership has brought is a huge change. Hopefully people can see that there is investment going on in the stadium, obviously on the pitch with some good signings in the team, but also off the pitch with new mowers, new lights for Marcus, the groundsman, and obviously the progress that we're making, managing down the debts, and also in discussions to buy the ground, which are progressing well. But I know James, what?
Over to you, I think, James.
Yeah, no, I think I get the question. Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, I think from I guess from the trust perspective and from a hardcore fan perspective, it's like chalk and cheese, really. You know, since kind of Clem's come in, you know, literally we were at arm's distance from the club under the kind of previous regime, and obviously, you know, having a fan as the CEO. You know, under Rob's stewardship, along with Clem, it's been amazing. You know, we've got brilliant engagement with the club. The trust and the official sports club are working really closely with the club, supporting the club. You know, we're helping wherever we can. You know, under the previous regime, that just wasn't there. You know, they wanted to keep us at arm's length, essentially. You know, there was no kind of engagement. There was no proper communication. We weren't allowed to help with anything. You know, they saw us as more of a nuisance than a, you know, ultimately than actually being there to help. So it's like I said, like chalk and cheese, and the atmosphere, you know, is brilliant. You know, we're all in it together, all working together for the good of the club ultimately, and that's all come from ultimately from Clem's ownership and Rob's leadership. So absolutely superb, yeah.
That's brilliant. Well, Bob, I'd like to Clem over here, but before he's here, behind his back, what's he like to work with?
Okay, Clem, look, he's really open, really honest, straight to the point, which is great. Very, very hard working, you know, and rightly expects that from me and the team, which is you know, not a problem. Very much, you know, on top of what's going on top of the numbers. Manages, we're managing the club like a proper business, so that we can, you know, maximise the investment that Clem makes, so that it goes into infrastructure for the club, or on the pitch or off the pitch, rather than, you know, propping up a business that's not being run as efficiently and as commercially as it could be. But no, he's a great guy to work for. You know where you stand. You know, and he's you know, and look, despite the fact he's in Australia at the moment with you guys, you know, I talk to him in the morning, I talk to him in the evening, so he's never far away. There's only a bit of time in the afternoon, really, where I crack on some work, and then he'll call me when he wakes up in the morning, over in your time.
Yeah, he sounds pretty much on the ball.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, well, I've got a couple of questions that are probably good for the CEO to answer. One's about the training ground. What's the story with the training ground and that place is at Highworth that you were working on?
Well, the training ground at Highworth has been bought in we believe the land is owned by Lee Power. So at the moment, it's got nothing to do with the club. Now, there is outstanding legal action, you know, against Lee Power from Michael Standing. Whether that will change things or not, I don't know. But as it stands right now, the title of the training ground is in the name of Lee Power. So the club is training currently at Beaversbrook at Cairn, and it's good training facilities there. You know, we've been there for a few years. There's been some investment in the pitches over there. Look, ultimately, you know, longer term, do we want and do we need a more permanent training base that we can invest in for the first team and the academy? Yeah, we do. But at the moment, we've got Beaversbrook, and you know, the Highworth land currently belongs to Lee Power, so I don't think there's anything progressing there right now.
Yeah, that's not what I thought you were going to say, but it's not what I wanted you to say. But never mind. Yeah.
But we've also got Supermarine available.
Are we? Okay.
Yeah, we do. Jez at Supermarine.
Yeah.
Jez is available at Supermarine.
Yeah, no, Jez has been great at Supermarine, which is, you know, just up the road. So
yeah,
the first team train there before some away games on the pitch there. Just not enough space there really currently for the first team to sort of train there all the time, and obviously for Supermarine to train there as well. But we do use the Supermarine pitches there for the first team when they're sort of heading away, and often when they're going north, because it's sort of just on the northeastern edge of Swindon. But yeah, I mean, Jez has been great, and it's been good to build links with Supermarine.
Yeah.
You know,
He's a good contact to have, and he's very reliable. And the dome which he has
yeah.
is very good.
And that raises the point that someone else brought up on Facebook, and they said, and I think you're doing this. He said, have you thought about doing conjunction tickets or deals with other sporting clubs, the ice hockey and the speedway in Swindon? And what's the story there?
Yeah, we've been trying to build links. Can you hear us all right, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're trying to build links with other sporting sort of clubs in and around Swindon. We've doing a bit of a ticket promotion, I think, coming up with the Wildcats, Swindon Wildcats, the ice hockey team. And we want to work with the whole community in and around Swindon to sort of try and encourage, people coming to enjoy, watch sport and participate in sport. So other things that we'll look at as well. I think we've had an initial just chat with the Speedway and are open to discussions with them as well. Unfortunately, at the moment, with issues at the stadium, there's no Speedway being played at the moment, which is a shame. But we're ready and willing to support the Speedway team as and when they need us as well.
Yeah, okay, great. Look, I've got a couple of sort of logistical questions, which is probably your best to answer. One's about the shirts. I know it's been covered online, but there's a couple of people not quite sure what the situation is with the strip next year. Can you just fill us in on that?
Yeah, so obviously the home and away shirt that we've got this year, we sold out of, and because of
Still got you?
Hello.
Okay, Bob's going around the roundabout, obviously. It's not difficult. So, and I'm stalling till Clem gets here. We've got 3 minutes if he's on time. So, James, what about you? Have you got your new shirt? You got your shirt yet? Or did they sell out before you could get one?
I didn't. Well, I'm quite a big bloke, so I was lucky enough that actually, my size is probably not one of the most popular ones, shall we say? So I managed to get my home and away shirt at the beginning of the season. So, but I know also the club, and I'm sure Rob will say this when he comes back on, but I know they're releasing a third strip, I think later this month. We don't know any details on what colour it is or whatever else, but there you go. You know more than I do then. Yeah, but ultimately, people that weren't able to get the...
Sorry, guys, I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you now, Rob.
Okay, talk among yourselves about who's going to talk about shirts. Go on.
I have to join again.
Hi, Rob, we can hear you.
The joys of technology. Okay, well...
I guess I can kind of just carry on with what I was saying, but yeah, ultimately I think Rob will probably say when he does rejoin, there is a new kit. I think it's coming later this month, and I think they're looking to. Obviously, there was a lot of people that couldn't get the home shirt because it sold out really quickly. I'm guessing kind of people they'll have a larger quantity of these new shirts that people that want to buy a shirt that haven't got one can ultimately buy. So that's coming later this month, I believe.
Okay, great. Look, I've got quite a few questions that I think are probably best for Clem to respond to when he gets here, but I've got a couple that probably he doesn't need to. One is about the club shop. I don't know if you can hear me, Rob, but I've got a question. Will the club shop be restocked with merchandise in time for Christmas? Because apparently it's running out. And if you're not there, Rob, don't answer. You're muted, Rob, I think. So, James, any ideas? You got some stuff you can go down there and sell in the shop, extra large shirts you can make. Maybe you can take some of your shirts and make 2 into 1, or 1 into 2.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think, and again, I don't want to speak on Rob's behalf, but I do believe that they have said that they are looking at things that, or they've got things on the way ready for Christmas. I know there's a lot more stuff that's gone on the website recently in terms of training gear and various other things that people can buy. So. I'm assuming people can get hold of that in the shop as well as online. So, yeah, but I know when Danny Lee and Rob came on to a official supporters club Monday night panel recently, and they did say that the shop was going to have more stock in soon. So, and then I think Rob his timing's perfect. I can let him carry on.
Sorry, James. Sorry, guys. I think the connection dropped while I was driving.
Yeah, no worries, Rob. I was just explaining
saying
about the club shop. There was a question about the club shop and whether there was going to be more stock in it because it was running a bit low.
Yeah, we've got. I don't know if you. I was trying to say before, you probably didn't hear, but we've got the third kit coming available very soon. It should be available at the end of the month, so in time for Christmas. We're stocking up as well on other items in the shop. It's been great that fans have supported us and bought a lot. We've just had a few supply issues, but we're stocking up at the moment, and the third kit will be available soon. The sort of home and away kit we've sold out of, unfortunately, and we can't get any more till next summer when we'll have the kit for next season, which we've ordered. But the third kit will be available at the end of the month.
Today, guys.
Come on in, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy.
Okay, we've got more fans.
Swindon Town Football Club supporters.
I'm not Chelsea.
We are.
I'm Chelsea.
Chelsea, get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah, okay, guys.
Swindon Town,
Yeah, okay. Just
Good on you, mate.
We're on
come and sit down.
Quick. I lost my track now. Well, one of the questions. I've got a question that I don't understand. So I'm sure you guys do. There's a question about Scott Twine. It says, when will the Scott Twine situation be resolved? I have no idea what that means, but if you can answer it, that would be wonderful.
Forget Scott Twine.
What?
Yeah, no, I can answer that one. So Scott Twine was a player that we came through the academy, did really well for us. Shone really last year, and unfortunately he didn't sign a new contract. You probably understand well, because at the time there were obviously all the issues at the club and the previous regime, and he probably didn't know when it was going to be resolved. So he left on a free contract to MK Dons. But because he'd been at Swindon since he was 11, Swindon are due a fee. We couldn't come to an agreement on the level of that fee with MK Dons, and there's going to be a tribunal with the Football League, to determine the fee that will be set between Swindon and MK Dons. So that tribunal will probably be heard in the new year, we think. But obviously, any monies from that sale will go, to the new regime, and will help sort of Clem and the club sort of continue to repair.
Okay, brilliant.
I guess it's helpful as well that he's scoring a hatful of goals from MK Dons at the moment as well, isn't it, Rob?
Yeah, that's right. He's doing well.
We're going to bump the price up a bit, hopefully.
Yeah, just share with us. It was a good player, but you can't win more. And look, one obvious question which everyone's asking is, what's the story with the ground, buying the ground, and what are the development plans for the ground when we do buy it? Oh.
Sorry, guys, I'd missed that.
So the ground, what's the story with the ground, with the purchase of the ground, and assuming we do purchase it, do we have development plans, and can you share them?
Yeah, so the situation with the ground is the ground's currently owned by the local council, and the club has got a lease from them, and obviously pays rent on that on an annual basis, about £200,000. And we've been in discussions for quite a while now with the supporters, and through the vehicle of the Supporters Trust to buy the ground on a 50-50 basis with the supporters. So the supporters would own half, and the club would own the other half. So we've just had a valuation done from a club and supporters perspective, which the trust has kindly paid for. And we're waiting for the council to get their own valuation done, and then we'll pick back up those discussions, and hopefully we're aiming to try and get an agreement with the council by February for the club and the trust to then own the ground, which should pave the way for more works on the ground. I know Clem's got plans to develop and put a roof over the Stratton Bank, corporate boxes in the Don Rogers stand, and then look at potentially more facilities that will help stuff off the pitch. Here he is. He's the man.
Welcome, mate. All right. My friend Graham. You've got a chair there, so you've got the throne.
Yeah, have a seat.
Good to see you, mate. Thanks for turning up.
It's all right, sorry I'm late.
Okay.
You can be late.
As you can see, we've got a dozen fans in Clem, so here he is.
There he is.
Rob, thanks a lot. I'm sure we'll ask him more questions.
Good, thanks, mate.
But Clem's taking that far. So look, what I'd like to do now, we've got Clem here in Oz, is ask a couple of Australian-related questions. And I guess the first one is, how was the game?
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. It would have been better if it was 0-0.
Yeah,
So it would have been better if a goal in there. So
yeah.
that was all right. The atmosphere was pretty good.
Was it out at Palmer City? I was there for the Aussie game. It was a good stadium.
Yeah, great stadium. 23,000. But I think Swindon could beat both of the teams.
Well, the first question.
We're going to get out.
Are you going to get out?
Outside, all right?
All right, wait for me.
Cheers, guys.
So the first question then, Clem, is there going to be a game in Sydney next year?
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully.
I know the season starts on the 30th of June, doesn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, because of the World Cup.
Yeah. So what do you reckon the chances are of an Aussie tour?
Oh, we're trying to do it, but obviously I'm trying to get back there. So we're going to work it out with Rob and the. Oh, you're right. Yeah, we're trying to.
He can't hear you. He says hello, mate.
What's that? Sorry.
He says, "Oh, mate."
He's in his car.
Yeah, they're driving to Newport.
They're driving there now.
Yeah, we'll jam stuff off there when this finishes, so we better get going. So tell me, Bob, you talked about this Swindon being a destination for potential Aussie future stars. What are you doing about that at the moment? Who are you talking to? How's that going to work?
Look, we're talking to clubs like Sydney FC, Western United, MPL 1 clubs. They're trying to do that as now. Obviously, Ben Chorley, we're trying to get Ben Chorley to come. He's been here already twice to Australia, so we're trying to get him over here. So, yeah, we want a pathway, but obviously there's good kids in England and there's good kids in Swindon, so we're trying to get those kids.
Yeah. So how do you see it happening? If you find a young kid here that wants to go to England and it's good for Swindon, they're going to go to the academy.
Yeah, we put him through the academy, but obviously Ben Chorley and Ben Garn would have to have a look at him in two spots to make sure that these guys are good at what they're doing and put them through it.
So you got people here on the lookout, or are they?
Always looking. Always looking. We look tonight. So see if there's any kids there.
Yeah. And what's that?
Oh, yeah, there's a couple of kids.
Yeah. So one of the things that people want to know. This is obviously a Swindon thing, not just an Australian thing. Now the court case, not the court case, the FA case with with the previous regime. Do you see any repercussions for next year? What's your view of that?
My view on it, look, we don't believe the FA or the EFL will prosecute the club. I think they'll prosecute the actual last regime. Obviously, our lawyers are looking through that at the moment and we'll fight a case against them. So, yeah.
So, fingers crossed.
Yeah, look, we're doing the right thing, and obviously Rob can vouch for that as well. But at the end of the day, we had no part of it. So why punish the club? We've never had a part of it.
Let's let Wayne Rooney worry about it.
Yeah, well, that's.
Yeah.
Let's let him worry about it, and the points deductions. We're not going to get that.
Oh, I hope you're right. I
hope so.
Well, we're victims too, aren't we? I mean, when it comes to the way that the previous regime has run the club.
Oh, let's worry about things going on in the future, not behind.
That's right.
Okay, well let's
We're all
look
good.
to the future. Clem, you told me a couple of great stories about what you did when you came in the club. Tell us about your trip to Tottenham.
Obviously, I brought Matt and I brought Chris to Tottenham, and I brought Harry Kill as well, to show what a Premier League club will do in regards to hospitality. So we want to lift our game in our hospitality. So, and we had a look at the stadium as well. Obviously, I got season tickets there, so for the business. So, so I showed the guys what the potential is and what we can strive for, and that's why I brought them down there. So, yeah, no, it was a good experience. The stadium's awesome. I'll tell you now, Tottenham Stadium.
Yeah.
It's one of the best in the world. And I've been to a lot of stadiums around the world, and I think that's world class.
So that's what we're aspiring to, right?
Always striving for more.
Yeah. And you brought, I think you brought a lot of changes in that a lot of people don't know about. One being the way you're feeding the players. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, obviously we're feeding the players. We've got a chef there, and we're feeding the players. Obviously, a lot of clubs charge the players. We're not doing that. We want to make sure our players are happy. When the players are happy, we happy life. They're a bit like wives, but so we want them happy. We want to make sure they're happy with the club and make sure they're scoring goals and winning games, and that's important. It's a proper culture throughout the whole club to make sure that everyone's happy in regards to all the staff, players, and all the supporters, and all you guys at the end of the day as well.
Yeah, that's quite a revolution for Swindon, man. That wasn't happening before. That's
Look, like I said to people, look, what's happened in the past has happened, and we've sat down, and we've got an advisory board. We've got the Supporters Trust and Supporters Club on the advisory board. We've got Don Rogers, we've got our legal guy as well, we've got Zav, we've got Rob. So we've got an open forum to make sure that anyone who's got issues regarding the club, is anything that we can improve, bring it to the table so we can discuss them and make sure that we're moving forward with the club.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure everyone watching knows this, but you produce the minutes of each advisory club meeting. I've got a copy of them here, and it's amazing the openness you brought to the club. Is that how you run your business?
Yeah, well, we run our big look. I've got businesses around the world, and we make sure that we're open and transparent with our staff. There's certain things that we can't discuss, and it'd be no different to the club. But we want to make sure that we're all open and transparent. And we run this as a proper sustainable business, because if we don't run it, then there's no future for the club, and you've seen that previously. But obviously we put in processes and procedures throughout every department. We sat down with every department. I was over there for 2 months, and I was just going through each department and working out what they were doing and what we can do to improve. And obviously I speak to Rob morning and night.
Yes, he was telling us.
So his wife's probably sick of me anyway. So, but I talk to him every night and every morning to make sure, and wake up in the mornings, 30 odd emails from him to go through to make sure that we're all doing what we're supposed to do.
Yeah. And moving on to club matters, what's your transfer strategy? I mean, people always say, "Oh, we want Messi," or they've got these daft requests. But do you have a strategy for how you look at the transfer market?
Look, Ben Shaw is director of football. He more or less runs that. I got full confidence in him, and he picks the players. We give him a budget, and then we work from there and see what we can get. But I don't really. If you said to me, "Go and pick this player," or "Go and buy Ronaldo," I'll say, "Well."
Yeah, sure. You sat down and you said you knew what you wanted when you looked for Ben, for instance, things like that.
Yeah, look, Ben was with me for 3 or 4 years when I was 15% owner anyway, so he was working for me anyway. And I had a plan when I did take over the whole club, that we had a position we had 3 or 4 players for each position. And and I'd go and see him, and he'd show me all these players and say, "Well, these are the players I want. This is what I believe we can get." But obviously, we couldn't do that until we got the club, and once we pressed the button, it was on. So,
Well, you've got an offer there for someone to put you up in Brisbane if people live in Brisbane. I just noticed. There's questions there about.
sure, yeah, just water. No, I don't drink.
You drink, but
No, still thanks. No, I
So
don't drink.
have you? So other people asking about the ground. What's your plans for the ground when you buy it?
Well, we want to buy the ground 50-50 with the supporter groups, which hopefully we'll do that. Maybe,
Small road. All right.
hopefully that's do that in the new year. So, and then once we do that, we want to look at the Stratton Bank, which we want to put a roof on it. Obviously, there's plans there to do the roof and the toilets there and stuff like that, and then probably put corporate boxes in the Don Rogers stand. Then build a hotel, conference, convention centre, and just build around and have so people can, when they do come down there, they have an experience and like a day out.
Yeah.
So that there is restaurants there and they can stay there. So if we win a game, everyone goes. That's the issue.
You want them to stay?
No, I want them to stay. I want them to stay as long as they can. I want them to be there Saturday, be there from the beginning till.
You're keeping the clock, aren't you?
Absolutely.
The only Rolex clock in the football.
I realised that. I was going to, probably 5-6 years ago, I spoke to Jay, who's one of the supporters in Swindon. So we're going to pull that clock down there. He said, "No, you're not." I said, "All right, we'll leave it there." Yeah. So.
Okay. So what else we are with asking about the Stratton Bank? Mark Hackins asking about the players' contracts expiring in January being renewed. I guess that's a question for the manager, isn't it?
Yeah. We'll be Ben Garner and Ben Chorley.
Yeah.
We'll be doing that. So we're going through that process now.
Okay.
15 years coming up pretty soon.
And tell me, is it a policy that all your managers are called Ben?
Well, it's easy to remember.
Okay. What other questions? Anyone else got questions?
Yeah, I've got a question.
Please.
Yeah. So one of the things that, of course, we fans focus on a lot is a new young great player arrives. He's scoring goals. He's making a lot of impact on the club. We all seek promotion. Along come Arsenal with a huge offer. Can you just talk us through the sort of business tensions around that? Because obviously we can't retain all our top players because there's a revenue stream from selling players to top clubs for a lot of money. Can you just take us through how that works in the scheme?
Well, the thing is, if an Arsenal or someone like that comes to it for a player, obviously I'd have to discuss it with Ben Garner and Ben Chorley to work out, is he worth selling? Do we keep him? Do we get promotion? So there's so many scenarios to work it. So I can't say, oh yeah, we're going to just go and sell them. And we want to retain our players because I find that every year when we did go up, we lost all our players and then have to rebuild our whole squad.
Yeah.
So you could never rebuild it. You can sell 2 or 3 players. You still need a foundation as a club and as a team.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, it falls apart and then you're trying to scramble.
I mean, this isn't something that's just unique to us. I mean, I remember when Theo Walcott was playing for Newbury and Southampton bought him, and he plays 8 games for Southampton, and then for the next 5 seasons he's playing in Arsenal reserves, and he's even on the bench for England, but he's playing for Arsenal reserves. You know, underneath Thierry Henry, he's the understudy for Thierry Henry, and that's the sort of like those of us that are the tribal supporters.
Thank you.
We look at the sort of hegemony of the big 6 and those huge clubs who just soak up all the players to deny them to the rest of us. And so therefore, of course, we all dream of championship. You know, we want Swindon Town to be in the championship.
So do I.
We've got to hang on to our players.
We'd like to be in the Premiership, but
we'll be in the Premiership.
Our first scenario is to make sure we stay in League 2.
That's
Right?
right.
And I've always said that when I first joined, I first started, stay in League 2. Do I think we're going to stay in League 2? Yeah, I believe we will. But stranger things that happen. So I want to make sure we stay in League Two.
Hey guys, Dion Conroy was talking the other day, and he was saying he was happy to stay up this season, right?
Yeah.
I saw him on Facebook the other day. Dion was happy to stay up, right?
Well,
We're going to stay up this season. We're going to go up this season.
Look, do I want to start going to League One? Yeah, I think our side's good enough to be in League One. I believe that we're good enough, and hopefully we can. But look, you don't know. Obviously, December, January is the harder than February. We've got a lot of games within this period at the moment. So we've got the FA Cup. We've got the Papa John Cup. So, you know, like we beat Warsaw in the next round. You don't know. We might have a cup run that might get us really momentum. We've got a lot of league games we've got to play. So this is the pointy end of the season. So we need to make sure that we're up there. But obviously, not on board. We're in a good position at the moment. Obviously, we beat Newport tonight.
Well, that brings us to one question, which is what's your prediction for the score?
2-0.
2-1. That will win, I think, yeah.
All right, Clem, we beat Warsaw in the next round. That's a given.
Nothing's a given.
What's your preference? Spurs at the county ground or Spurs at their new ground?
Spurs at White Hart Lane.
I'll be in the box,
Man
mate.
United. I think we'll beat Man United. We'll beat Tottenham as well.
So there are a few questions coming up. One's about the squad, which I think you've covered about. I think the squad is you keep it together as much as you can, but if someone comes in with a daft drop, you put it in a second.
Yeah, we'd have to look at it and see what money comes in and what else we could buy with that money. So we can keep the money in the business to make sure we clean up. Obviously, we want to clean up all the debts at the moment. And that's our goal, and that's what we're trying to do. And look, the staff there, management there, and the players, they've done a great job. Everyone's done a great job over there. We just want to clean up the mess because it is quite messy at the moment. Well, it's not messy at the moment, but there's a few things that we need to clean up, which we're doing. So, and the staff there are working really well. They're working hard as hell. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see you investing a lot in the club. Even the new lawnmowers, you know, that's.
Well, the thing is, I sat down with Marcus and I said, "Oh, what do you need? We need more lights." I said, "Give me a program that we need for the pitch." Well, the pitch is beautiful in August, but obviously, you know, in December and January, February, it's not, and there's no sunlight. So we bought some more lights as well. So we got extra grain lights. So we got 2 9s and 2 18 grain lights that I'd done the deal when we were over there and with Marcus and Rob and Matt. So we went over there and did that. And then we said, "Oh, what lawnmowers do you need?" And we worked out what lawnmowers we need, and we worked out a program. Look, I don't know anything about grass, but at the end of the day, it's green and it had the grow. Marcus is really good.
It's heat.
He's
You
really
need
good.
light and you need heat.
And you need water, and there's plenty over there in England. But so we made sure that we have a program, and obviously near that Don Rogers stand in the corner there, it doesn't grow as much because it's got no sunlight. So we've got a proper program for the pitch where we've never had before, and we've done that with the hospitality, we've done that with the maintenance, we've done that with commercial, we've done that with all the sponsorships. We've sat down with all the sponsors, and we went. Well, obviously, I drove around the town with the bus, seeing the sponsors. Every time we go, we have a home game. Rob and I are talking to all the sponsors and make sure they feel part of it, and the supporters feel a part of it. So
I think you've definitely done. There's a question there about the ladies' club and how you making them a part of it too.
Yeah, and look, it was unfortunate that got rained off that on the 31st of October. But we want the ladies to play football, even though Marcus was a bit nervous about the pitch. But we want the ladies to be part of Swindon. Like, I was a bit bemused that they never played Well, they have played there before, but years ago. But we wanted to make sure that and with Rob and I and the staff, we sat down with the girls and said, look, we want you to play here. But they play on a Sunday, so.
Clem, you know, what you're talking about is really inclusive about women and children, but also at grassroots level, it's clear that you reached out to a lot of the ordinary folk around Swindon, and you doing your whistle stop tour around Swindon. We read a lot about that here in Australia, and that's fantastic. Quite frankly, it's a bit of a masterstroke. Just reaching out to ordinary folk, which has never happened in Swindon before. So, what else have you got planned? What else have you got up your sleeve?
I don't know. You'll find out over there. Yeah, look, we just want to sit down and engage with the supporters, and there'll be a few things for Christmas that we will do. So, and obviously, Christmas is a family time. We want to make sure that the families are coming to the club, because the club is so important for the town.
Yeah,
So important.
Agree.
And I think unless you've been there and understand how football works in England, people don't understand it here in Australia. Well, no disrespect to, you know what I'm saying?
It's not easy to tell us, yeah.
Yeah, so, and I explain it to people here in Australia, my clients and my staff, and I say, look how important football is. And they look at you a little bit strange, thinking, what do you mean? It's not like, it's a football club, and they go, I said, you just don't realise how important it is. It's a religion.
Yeah.
And look, I got a card from the priest, as the priest when I turned up. So I got a letter from him saying thank you, best of luck, and all that. So it was quite nice. So it was good. But people don't realise that here in Australia. I think it's different.
The might in Melbourne were there as well, but not the football.
But look, I've got a business in Melbourne, and AFL is passionate, but football in England is another level.
Big time.
It's another level. No, it doesn't compare. I'll tell you that now.
I'm an outsider here, Clem. What's the population of Swindon?
300,000.
Right, would it be great to get 20% of its members? And that'd be your aim, I suppose.
Yeah, and we're trying to do that.
80-20 rule.
Which we want the county ground filled up every year, every game. Right?
We're getting 9,000 at the moment.
Yeah, 15,728.
When I watched Swindon play in the Premier League, right, I watched bloody Cantona stamp on Moncur right in front of me. Right, we got 15,000 there.
You remember that day?
I remember that right in front of me. Right, with me old man. We get 9,000 at the moment. We used to get 15,000. We can easily get 20, 25,000.
The first game,
Easily.
The first game I saw was in 1963.
Yeah.
There was 25,000 in the ground.
There you go.
And we had the lowest crowd in 68, 69 was 10,000, and we averaged 22,000. So it's there.
Yeah, look, but we've been averaging around over 9,
Which is good.
in the last for League 2.
League 2, 9
And
is
when
unbelievable.
you look at all the other clubs that
They're 5.
they're 5s, 5.5s. We're doing 9. Obviously,
We're
we
doing
should
very
be a
well.
League 2 club anyway. We should be in the championship minimum.
Yeah.
So we should be packing the stadium every week. So, and that's what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we're talking about the 60s. The town's twice the size now that it was then. When you say 200,000, it was 100,000 in the 60s. So that means that we should be able to pull decent crowds with with the ground. And I think with all that hospitality stuff you're talking about, making it more of a social thing, I think is good.
And a lot of the sponsors are in the town that seeing what we're doing. They're all like it's packed out. It's sold out every game.
Yeah.
So you can't get a table now.
No.
So
I just wanted to ask a question because I mainly focus on Australian football. I just wanted to ask, it's very rare for Australian to own a football club. You see around many clubs around the world, global clubs, Manchester City with the United Arab Emirates, for example. Just how much of a connection do you want to the Australian football community? I know you said earlier you want to connect with young academies, but do you want to open up to other are there any sort of revenues or any other pathways in Australia you want to go through, as in player recruitment? Is there anything else you want to see? Do you want to see more advertisement or something, or any other connections with Australia that you want to go on with?
Obviously, I want to bring Australian kids. I think Australians have got a good sports work ethic and all that. So we want to obviously bring some Aussie kids. And I think in 2006 we had a lot of Aussies in the Premier League. At the moment, we don't have any at the moment. I don't know if there's a couple of
Look at it.
Oh, look, we've got
Talia, Dave Mitchell.
Oh, Dave Mitchell. Bloody
We had a beer with him over here.
what a great guy.
You always Danny Invincible.
Danny
Even
Invincible.
So I think, look, we want to bring obviously the Aussie connection in there, obviously because I'm Aussie.
Yeah.
We've got one sponsor who's Aussie that's sponsoring. There's a board that I know. It is rare. I think I'm probably the only first person that's bought an English football club. But I've been in it for 10 years. I don't think people realise that I've been in English football for 10 years, and it's taken me 10 years to get to this stage. I sponsored a League 7 club, Parrabara, 10 years ago, and then I got into Swindon. I was a shirt sponsor for 3 years with Swindon, and then I got into buying 15%, and then I was vice chairman, and then it got me a pathway to work out how it actually worked. To actually just jump in, it is hard, but knowing it and being in it for 10 years, I think it's important, especially being on the other side of the world.
Okay, Peter, have we got any questions that you've been picking up? Because I've been focusing on Clem rather than the questions.
Yeah, so we've got quite a few actually. Let's see if we can start with this one. So I think Rob's already talked about the purchase of the ground. I guess the question is probably more for James. When will fans start to get involved in, purchasing 50% of the ground? When will that happen?
Yeah, so absolutely. So we're putting all the kind of parameters and things together at the moment at the trust to kind of make that happen. But we're ultimately going to be selling those shares kind of early next year, and looking to allow fans to effectively buy a share in the county ground. So watch this space. It's we're just planning all the bits and pieces at the moment we need to do. So obviously we'll present all the details and obviously make fans aware of what they can do in order to be part of that.
Okay, thanks. Right, next one is around transfer window. I guess it's more for Rob and for Clem, and that's how all the results between now and Christmas determine how we approach the January transfer window. So is that going to have an impact whether we do great or not so great?
You probably have to talk to Ben Chorley and Gardner about that question.
Surely depends whether we beat Warsaw and draw Tottenham away. That'll help.
Well, that's true.
Okay, fair enough. Rob, I guess you got nothing that you want to add? You'll take the lead.
I think as Clem said, it's probably one more for Ben Chorley and Ben Garner to come and have a chat with Clem and I and stuff like that. But the team are doing great. They've done a great job so far. We just hope it continues, and I'm sure it will. We've got every confidence in them.
Okay, great. Next one is anything being planned to encourage attendances over Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah. We've obviously we've hopefully got some stuff for the kids around Christmas, around the Walsall game, which hopefully would be a bit of fun for them. And we're looking at what we can do. We've got Harrogate next Saturday, and we've got the Army coming along. We've given them some free tickets and some discounted tickets for the military to try and pay respect to the military. We've got some other games where we're looking to do the same for the NHS and for first responders as well. And we're always thinking about different ticket initiatives that we can drive to try and, as the guys were saying in Australia, fill the ground. The crowds have been great, but we love to get to 10,000 home fans on a regular basis.
Great, thank you, Rob. We've got this next question. I don't know if all the guys in Australia know, but the foundation have just received approval to build I think it's a 5-a-side indoor pitch. I guess it's similar to what Supermarine have got, right next to the ground. And I guess the question is the club planning to use that pitch? Will you have access to it?
Well, we have really good relationship with the STFC Community Foundation, and John and Shane do a fantastic job of running the foundation. And that's great. I think they've got planned admission, and I know they're now raising the sort of funds, and they're experts at that after the work they've done to build Foundation Park and get that up and running. The academy do use Foundation Park currently. So I'm sure there's something that we'll be able to look to use to support the academy, and maybe at times the first team when the weather's sort of bad. But we've got great relationships with John and Shane, and I'm sure there'll be opportunities there for us. As and when the Bens decide that the team need it, and the academy decide they need it as well.
We've got a question around increasing revenue. I think, Clem, you touched on, you took some of the club to White Hart Lane, and the question is around, what sort of margin do you think we can increase revenue? Are we just scratching the surface at the moment?
Yeah, I believe it's just scratching the surface. There's a lot that we can do with every department. So Rob and I and Matt and everybody else are going through each department, working out budgets for each department, and we're just making sure that we can increase revenue. Obviously, the sales is important, hospitality, the shop, so much that we can do and improve. But obviously, we've only been there for 4 months, so there's a lot to do, and they've done a lot, but there's heaps to do. We just got to keep going.
Okay, great. We've got a question. Would it be more cost effective to rebuild a new Stratton Bank instead of spending money on a roof?
What was that, sorry?
Would it be cheaper to rebuild a Stratton Bank rather than stick a roof on it?
Probably not. No. I've had a look at it. No, I don't think it would be. But we've just got to make sure the structure's right.
Short-term plans.
And the answer there, if you didn't hear, was that basically it depends on the structure. We would probably not, but we don't know yet. Is that right?
Yeah. Not
okay. A simple question. I don't know if you know the answer. What date is the new third kit arriving?
We're expecting it to be available, Pete, from the end of the month. I think we'll make it available for pre-order before that, so it's coming soon.
Okay. A comment from Steve Weston. Don't forget Brizzy. I guess that's Brisbane. If you get the boys over for a pre-season tour, he says there's thousands of Swindon fans up there.
brilliant.
Pre-season at the Gold Coast.
If the border is open, we'll come up and say, "Yeah, to speak to your premier."
But you know they are Queenslanders, don't you?
I don't know about them, but pressure's on Steve then, right, to get something going, to show there's the demand. We've got a question around player contracts, and are you looking at renewing contracts? Obviously, I think they're all on 1 year at the moment. I'm not sure how much you can say about that.
Yeah, we are looking at it. Yeah, go, Rob.
Well, I was going to say exactly the same as you were looking at it. Something that Ben Chorley and Ben Garner are looking at, and and Clem and I will support. What they come to us with.
And somebody's already starting to look about next season. So this is from Greg. When are you hoping to start sale of next season's season tickets?
Well, we're hopefully looking to sort of do that around March time, I think. So, obviously in the summer with all the issues with the previous ownership and the court case and the uncertainty, obviously they were late on sale. Everything was late, and we're still really sort of catching up from a stadium perspective. But we'd hope to be back into normal sort of timings, and we'd hope that around about March time we'd get the season tickets on sale for next season.
Okay. Rob, I think this tends to get asked at every live stream that you're on. When will the shop have more home and away shirts? I think we've answered it.
Yeah, well, as we know, in terms of the home and away, you know, because of the issues in the supply chain with Puma and it's a bespoke kit, we can't get any more to next summer, and by then we'll have next season's kit in. So that's that. You know, we're struggling with the home and away, but the third kit's coming, and that's the good news, and it's fantastic. So, as I said, at the end of the month that'll be available, and hopefully that'll meet the demand out there and help for things for people to buy for Christmas. And then the kit for next season, which we've chosen, is fantastic. So hopefully that will meet the demand. But thanks for everybody who's bought the shirts so far. And sorry we can't get more due to the issues that Puma have got.
Okay. And I think this will probably be the last question. We're almost out of time, and I know James needs to jump in his car and get onto the motorway. So probably the most important question of the day is, when will we see a Clem versus Rockin' Robin dance-off on the pitch?
Oh, jeez.
Do it for sponsor. Now, actually, the most important question, I'm not even sure if you're allowed to reveal this, is what colour is the third kit? Are we allowed to know yet?
No, not yet. We're going to keep teasing you. It'll be coming soon.
Okay, great. Okay, Steve, that's all the questions that we've got on the live stream now. So I'm not sure if you want to just finish up and we can say our thanks to everybody for attending.
Well, what I would like to say, Pete, is thanks a lot to you. You've been incredibly supportive of the Aussie Supporters Club and of setting this up and everything. You're doing a fabulous job. Thank you very much. And thanks for James and for Bob and for Clem, who he'll keep drinking water, we'll keep drinking beer.
Clem, there was one question, which is, when are you back at the county ground?
Pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
We'll see you pretty soon then.
I'll see you pretty soon.
Right,
well, you'll see me, Dari.
Okay.
Soon. Very soon.
Okay, see you guys. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks very much, Rob.
Thanks very much. Thanks for your support, guys.
Everybody.
Up the town.
Just to say that Monday evening UK time, we have Andrew Steele Davis, which is the club's media manager, on the sofa. He seems to work all night and all day, so I'm not sure how we've managed to get him for an hour. But yeah, that will be 7 o'clock UK time. We can have a chat with Andrew. Okay. See you all. Have a good journey to James and Rob. Take care all.
Yeah, cheers everyone. Cheers, Clem. Thanks, guys.
Thanks everybody. Thanks, Clem.
Cheers, Rob.